Accurate.
Fuck.
All the drummers I know have been hit in the head too many times.
Simic
I may or may
hybrid
not have
drummer.
played percussion.
This
I
is
may or may
amazing.
not also own an electric bass.
Nice.
Hey, Chris.
Sympaticos. We're just talking about potential like next all bard campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, when are we gonna TPK so we can get to that?
Maybe tonight. Who the fuck
he's
knows?
working on tonight. I'm working on it. You know, you've got some gnarly shit that's been set in motion, including the black worm that you're about to fight.
This is fine. Oh,
Cool.
fucking rotworm.
Not rotworm, just black worm. Okay, we ready to go, guys?
I believe so.
Okay. Let me commit some. There we go. Alrighty. So, you guys are in this lovely little tunnel now. Who remembers what you guys got up to last week?
We started going underground so we could hunt down Atula, I think is her name, and kill her.
Yep. Trying to kill a literal goddess.
Fought some shit, including a fake Cristona. And then we got stuck because Atula kept fucking up the ground around us, because we were too loud. And we found out what was causing that, which is apparently worm, and we were getting ready to fight it.
Getting ready to fight it is maybe a weak word for. Maybe a weak word.
3 ones in a row for stealth.
Yeah, because nobody could keep fucking quiet.
You guys rolled pathetically for stealth.
Bauer just couldn't keep his mouth shut. He just had to enjoy his time in the Tensor's floating disc.
I mean, it's not like it's going to come around but once in a lifetime. I ain't got no spells.
Yeah, fair.
Alrighty. So, you guys ended off last session with having sent an earth elemental into the ground and having it get eaten by a giant fucking worm that then broke the surface right next to you guys.
Oh, we hardly need.
And I'm gonna need you all to please roll initiative.
Whoop, here
as the motherfucking worm is breaking the surface.
Okay. This is fine. Fuck.
Wow, that is a lot of 16s on initiative.
Just rub it in my face, why don't you?
Yeah, even I beat you.
Yeah, right.
Truly, you know you're fucked when. Alrighty. So, a couple of you hear the rumbling and have a moment to prepare before the worm breaks the surface and tries to eat you all. What do? As I roll initiative for Banach and Garrett.
Sima Kennedy first and foremost.
You're in initiative.
Yeah.
That's a Diggeroy. Yeah. It's your turn.
Sorry.
Okay. I will ready synaptic static.
I thought you said we had a moment before initiative started, so.
No.
Sorry.
It's initiative has begun. It just hasn't broken the surface yet. Sorry, you're readying a synaptic static to presumably blast the worm as soon as it pops up?
Exactly.
Cool. Minox got a 9. Garrett's. Good news! Garrett is after you, Cristona.
Yay!
Alrighty. So, Digorilla, you ready a synaptic static? Alright. Bauer, it is your turn.
I really want to push it, but I'm pretty sure pushing it's not going to do anything.
I mean, it's not above ground yet, so
Details.
You can certainly try and push it if you want, though.
Damn you, ground, get pushed.
I was gonna say just push the ground above it. That's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mhm.
I guess I will wait here and have prepare an attack for when it pops up.
Ready? It is going to with a crackling and cracking of earth and an explosion of soil and rock above where it emerges. The maw of an enormous black worm with stripes of lava emerges from the ground and starts heading towards you guys, maw open to eat you all. Leroy!
Thanks, I hate it.
I had no doubt you would. I chose it specifically for you guys.
Okay, so I'm hoping it's not very bright.
You can hope away.
I mean, he just said it at lava. Lava's pretty bright, right?
It is not very bright. It is going to go ahead and legendary resistance, though.
It literally could not make that sense.
It could not. It could not. I just figured I'd roll that on the off chance that I got a -2. Because we love seeing negative numbers for saves here. It's going to pop up right there, and the front half of it is going to, hey, here's Cristona. She's closest. Let's eat her.
Great.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
So it's going to start out with a crit, and I need you to make a dex save or be swallowed by the big fucking worm.
Yep. This is gonna be great.
For so that's a fail.
So how much damage is that? Fuck.
That is 55 damage.
Okay.
And you are swallowed.
Okay.
You are in the worm.
Great.
And the worm's
Okay,
gonna poke his... You can certainly try and make your attack power. A 23
Oh, the worm's
will hit
down
him.
there. Sorry, I thought the worm was to my left.
No, that's the drow.
Yes. Okay, never mind.
Drow, worm, what's the difference?
Same diff.
Well, the drow's going to retreat so that, not the drow, the worm is going to retreat a little bit so that it is 10 feet below ground, but it does leave a tunnel behind it. So you can see the head of the worm still. It's just 10 feet down. And Cristona got swallowed.
Story of our life.
What? Aemon! Moving right along. I'm not touching that one.
What to do? guess run over to the hole so I can see the worm. And probably gonna make this save. Let's try to levitate it back up out of the hole.
You want to hit the giant worm with a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, why not? Maybe
Levitate a target that weighs up to 500
Oh,
pounds.
shit, messed up.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
give
it's
you
probably
that
not.
this worm is definitely more than 500
It is
pounds.
one chunky boy.
It sure
Uh,
fucking is.
Yeah. I was reading through the spell and missed that.
Oh,
I was looking at all of the spells in my staff to see if anything was worthwhile. But I don't think anything else is, so I'm just gonna throw an Eldritch Blast.
alrighty. Shoot them Eldritch Blasts. All of those will hit him.
For 33.
Fucking sweet. You blast him with 33 points. You send off some like little gouts of lava with it too, as the blast slam into his hide, and you leave some nice little dents. It looks displeased, but still existing.
Yeah, didn't figure that would do much. That's it for me though.
Okie doke. Now Binnock, sorry, being an intellectual, knows that purple worms exist, and they're not very smart. And this guy's just big and looks like a purple worm. So he's gonna try and fucking hold monster to this little shit.
Yeah, I get it.
Because the synaptic static didn't seem to work too good. And he will succeed in burning another legendary resistance off of.
Huzzah.
The worm seems for a moment to falter, and at the last moment chooses to succeed.
I wish I could do that in life.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty nice.
That's a little bit too real for me right now.
Right.
So, as Bannock does that, surprise, the other half of the worm, the stinger end of it,
Oh,
pops up behind you guys
this is fine.
as it emerges from the ground, breaking through and stabbing out with its stinger at Eamon's too far away, so it's gonna go one attack at Bannock, stinger at Diggeroy, one attack at Bannock, and one attack at the Drow. That's it's an 18 for Diggeroy.
1 second. We'll cast shield.
Okay, cool. And a major fail for the Drow, and a fail for Bannock as well. As oof, that's some big oofs. It stabs out with its stinger, tries to get Diggeroy, slashes out with two of its back end scratchers, and fails to get either Bannock or the Drow accompanying you guys. And that will take us back around to Cristona. Hi,
Great.
Cristona.
Hi.
You've been swallowed.
They have. So that means restrained
And
right,
blinded.
Blinded. I can't be fucking blinded. No, that's my magic. So
You are still restrained.
yeah. Let's see. Here's a question. Can freedom of movement be used to be like those like nail polish things that like make it make it taste really, really bad so that you throw up the. Oh, right. Like, can I use freedom of movement to get the fuck out of this thing?
Okay, the nail polish thing was totally lost on me, just so you know
No,
for the
sorry.
future.
This is a thing that you can
Um,
put on your nails to keep you from biting them, but because it
Okay,
tastes really
sure.
bad.
Sure. I'm gonna say no, but freedom of move wouldn't get you out, but it would stop you from being restrained in there
Okay.
and make it easier for you to smack a bitch.
Okay. Then yeah, I will cast that on myself.
Alrighty.
And
You
if I give
freedom
myself
of
a
movement
healing word as a. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that because yeah, never mind.
because driver doesn't exist.
Yeah, don't have that.
That's rough, buddy.
Right.
Maybe next campaign. Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
I don't need
And
lube.
that'll be
No,
Christona. So you
the opposite.
you cast your freedom of movement, and you suddenly feel slippery and more able to move around
Okay,
within
fine.
the
Falston
vibe.
is lube. Fine.
Jesus Christ! If if we were a bunch of lewd motherfuckers, then yes, it'd be lube. Uh,
I was saying no, it wasn't. And then you said slippery, and like, yeah. Damn it! I can't deny that.
Alrighty. We're going to slip over to Garrett. And Garrett, noticing Binnock's attempt, is also going to try and hold monster on this fucking worm. And it will succeed. For once. It does not have to burn a legendary resistance. Garrett looks a little bit frustrated and will bonus action wild shape into his bear form. Her bear form. Sorry. We're just going to scoot you off to the corner. And that's Garrett's turn, which takes us back around to the top of the round. Digroy.
Okay. So I'll drop this on the tail.
Okay.
One second, I'm gonna look at something.
Sure.
I cannot currently see Christona.
No, she is fully swallowed.
Right. So time bomb the tail. Yeah.
I mean, as a side effect of being swallowed, she does have total cover against anything outside of the outside of it.
Yeah. If I would be aware of that, then I would target the head instead, I think.
Yeah. Unless you super want to try and throw it into its open mouth or something.
I wouldn't blame you. Because that'd be badass.
Mess up the mouth so you can just sort of walk out.
Well, it sure fucking fails its save against that as you rip on the threads of time and cause a giant explosion to engulf its head, and it screeches.
Great Scott.
Great Scott! I've been exploded. Alrighty. Anything else on your turn, Digroy?
I will give Bardic Inspiration to Bauer.
Alright. Bauer, you are inspired. How is he inspired?
It's all you, buddy. Your magic immunity should probably help.
Probably. Alrighty. Speaking of, that takes us to Bauer. Bauer, would you like to go beat the worm?
Yes. I'm gonna go choke it.
For once, I knew exactly what I was saying.
Everyone goes to horny jail.
So is the tail still up then?
The tail is still up. It has not gone. $19 will just barely miss. 27 will get him, and so will a 26.
Nice.
You smack a bitch.
See how wise he is.
Yeah, you menace that tail.
Not that wise. And he is surprisingly not immune to being frightened. So you actually do frighten a motherfucker. Ba-ba-da. And that is 13, 14, 27, 34 points of damage. You get another solid screech from the front end as you essentially stab him in the ass. Alrighty. And that'll take us to the worm. Alrighty, Christona, first things first. As you are within the worm,
Mhm.
you can feel it vibrating and shaking around you, and it shakes you right to your core. And you take 27 thunder damage from the vibrating of the worm around you.
Great.
Second thing second. He's going to go ahead and attack the shit out of. He's going to go ahead and attack the shit out of Eamon, because Eamon tried to hit him in the face. So that's 26. 26, a 33, and a 21.
The 21 will miss. The 26 and 33 will hit, unfortunately.
Okay. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please, or be swallowed.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Whoa.
Oof.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Okay, well, the good news is you don't take the second attack then, as you are just swallowed. And you
Well.
take 22 damage. And you are swallowed into the worm, along with Christona.
Oh, hey there.
You slide down its uncomfortably warm and vibrating throat and end up in its stomach next to Christona in a stomach that is much more vibrating than the other stomachs you've been inside.
We're just not doing phrasing anymore.
As
Just
part
not
of
at
your
all.
time hunting monsters. Look, it's a giant worm. It was inevitable.
There's no way this was going to end up clean.
Alrighty. So that'll take us to Eamon.
Look at that.
Eamon, you are blinded and restrained
blinded.
within his stomach. Yep.
Okay, so can I still see it?
You're inside its stomach. You
Right.
can't see it, but you know where it is enough to like hit it with your stick.
Right. What about spells? Like
What kind of?
a spell that's like choose a creature you can see. Blah blah blah.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
You are literally inside it. It would be very stupid if I were to say no.
Right.
You can definitely see it. It is all around
Can't
you.
not see it.
Yes. It is the
Try-
thing that's blinding you.
Let's try to hold it.
Okie day. It will fail, and it will blow its last legendary resistance on
Hey.
resisting your hold monster.
Nice.
And it
For it.
senses that something is awry.
Oh, I ate something terrible.
You hear a deep growling emitting from it, very distinct from the normal just vibrating of this worm.
And bonus action, let's go ahead and start raging.
Okay.
Because I could use resistance from the 4d8 a turn.
I'm sorry, you're mistaken. It's 8d6.
I was looking at the wrong set of rolls. All the more reason.
Yes. All right. That's going to take us over to Binnock. Binnock is going to be very alarmed that apparently everybody's being eaten. And he is going to throw a synaptic static of his own. Which it will fail. And well, that's not great damage, but hey, who uses synaptic static for the damage, am I right? And the worm looks confused and muddled. And oh my god, it should have been making all of these saves at advantage. I'm such a dumbass. Well, whatever. That's now a thing.
Welp.
Well, that's my bad.
This is fine.
And of course it is. Binnock is now done. At the end of his turn, the tail is going to spend a legendary action and attempt to stab Binnock with a stinger for what may not hit him. What does not hit him? Because fuck synaptic static. Alrighty. It is, however, just going to go and try and stab him several times more,
Like you do.
as one does. As it proceeds to its turn, that is a 30. A won't hit and a maybe hit. A won't hit.
Huzzah.
So Binnock's going to take 22. And he needs to make a con save. He will fail. Now he is resistant to poison because he is made of metal. 28? But he looks really fucking bad after getting stabbed with the stinger on the back end of the worm. Real bad indeed. Real bad. Like, into the blinking red kind of bad. Oh, Christona, you're inside the worm.
Yep.
What would you like to do?
I'm not blinded, I'm not restrained. Gonna kind of like look over at Aemon and then just, we should go. And can she grab him and start like running for the mouth? running to get out of the stomach because she has the strength to like basically pick him up easy.
Oh yeah, that's not in question. But you can certainly try.
Okay.
Make a strength check. Flat strength.
Just check. Okay.
That will unfortunately not be good enough.
Shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's just your movement, not your action.
Okay.
But you will you attempt to run up its throat, but you're essentially trying to run straight up, and it is a really fucking strong worm.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably even stronger than you are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it gives you a pretty damn good fight, and you fall back down into the stomach.
Okay. So it's just movement.
Mhm.
Kristen, while we were walking down this thing, how large was the cave itself, the path, or how
That's literally the width of the map.
the height?
Height 20 feet.
Mm-hmm. 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 So this might be an interesting thing to attempt. I'm not quite sure if it'll work. Can reverse gravity on it from inside of its stomach. So it can't swallow anyone, it just smacks into the ceiling.
Huh. A 50-foot radius, 100-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range.
Might at least
Okay.
neutralize the mouth while they smack it.
Uh, hmm. My inclination is to say that because it's like it basically extends from there to there,
Mm-hmm.
or from here to here. It's basically anchored to the ground, but it's got some room to extend on the upper half. Sure. We'll have it make a dex save,
Nice.
which it fails. And instead of being 20 feet down, it is now at ground level. Its head weirdly extended upwards, and the tail more or less doing the same, actually, because reverse gravity has a fucking very wide radius. So everybody outside of the worm. Uh-huh. Everybody outside of the worm also gets caught in the reverse gravity. Uh, and
Shit.
gets you can attempt to grab onto the floor to avoid getting thrown to the ceiling if you want, guys.
What action is that?
It's just a save.
Deck save?
Yep. Okay, you hold on to the floor. You are now hanging onto the floor as gravity has abruptly reversed for no apparent reason to those of
Sorry.
you who aren't inside the worm.
I was trying to
But
keep it.
the worm appears to be reversing as well, and the tail end of it is now dangling up towards the ceiling, and the mouth end of it is much further out as well. The drow is going to fail. Garrett will fail because he has bear claws right now. Bannock will try.
The ones who
Bannock will fail.
they will feather fall to the ceiling.
Much obliged. He feather falls to the ceiling as I invert all of their tokens.
Oops.
Alright, we're upside down. And Bauer, are you gonna try?
The bear.
Sorry?
Said it doesn't work as well for the bear compared to the
Yeah,
other tokens.
unfortunately. Bauer, are you gonna float to the ceiling or stay on the ground, or try and stay on the ground?
The feather fall wouldn't affect me, right?
Nope.
It would not.
So I probably should try to stay on the ground then.
Probably a good idea, yeah.
Alrighty, make a dex save.
Made it.
Oh, good. All right, you managed to hold onto the floor and not be yeeted to the ceiling by this mysterious reverse gravity that has been activated. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Christona? Other than confuse the shit out of everybody?
Sorry. That's all I got at the moment. Besides, spectral armor ain't gonna do shit in here. That's all I got.
Alrighty.
I forgot how big that was.
God. Tail's gonna take 2 legendary actions and attempt to stab Bannock with which a 33 will hit him. Big oof. And Bannock, only having 8 hit points, will clatter to the ceiling in a pile of metal armor that is suddenly not activated anymore. And that'll take us to Garrett, who is confused, but still down to try and kill things. So she's gonna go and fucking try and eat the shit out. She's gonna go maul the worm stinger. What?
He? Bear form C, right?
Sorry. Yep.
Okay.
Is going to go attack or going to go maul the bear stinger. The worm stinger. Fuck! I promise I'm not drunk. I promise. I'm out of fireball anyways.
Sadness.
Alrighty. And we'll hit twice. For a solid total of 28 damage. The worm sure feels it and screeches out in pain as the bear mauls its back end. And that will take us to Diggeroy. Diggeroy, you are now hanging off of the floor as gravity has abruptly reversed.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'll probably go away next round.
Um, Like moving around is probably not worth the effort, so I will.
Come on, this is the exact situation in which for which they have monkey bars in children's playgrounds.
Yeah. But generally, there
Yes.
is a giant monster trying to kill you when you're on the monkey bars.
Details.
Only in her head. Someone didn't have enough imagination.
I always thought it was lava.
It was a good idea last time too. I'm gonna cast Hold Monster. On
Alrighty.
Yes!
Alrighty. It fails, and it will suddenly become rigid in place, as it has a bad time as you finally manage to nail it with a paralysis. The worm that was wriggling and flopping around is now. Don't make me finish that sentence. Anything you'd like to do with your bonus action?
I can't see anyone who needs inspiration, and I can't healing word this turn, so no, I can inspire Garrett. No, I'll hold off on that. No, that'll be it.
Alrighty. Alright. That'll take us to Bauer. Bauer, there's a paralyzed worm in front of you.
I guess now's probably a good time for this.
Probably, yes. Probably, yes.
Cast fist. Woo!
The 19 still does not hit it, unfortunately. You have one of your strikes glances off of its armor as you're trying to get the feel of things, but the other two definitely do. With a
I
20, with
I
a
can
pair of
still
29s.
I can throw my bardic inspiration on that 19, right?
Yes, you can. You don't have to roll it. A 20 will hit.
Woo!
Alrighty, that is 3 hits.
Nice.
And I'll go ahead and use my action surge for fun.
So he's paralyzed. These all crit.
Oh! Yes!
So I need you to roll a whole bunch more dice for me. Give me 3 more d8s. And yes, you can absolutely go ahead and action surge. Alrighty.
Nice.
Oh my god. Are you serious? Another 19?
Wouldn't the fist dices get doubled too?
They do. So that's 24, 17, 58, 99, plus you have 2 more attacks from your action surge. 30 and 29 will both hit. Go ahead and roll me some extra d8s for those.
Nice.
Alrighty. 11, 18, 21, 26, 125, 157. Right.
Yes.
The feast is in there as well.
Beast!
So he takes 157 damage. Which, fun fact, is only slightly less than double the amount of damage he'd or slightly less than the total amount of damage he'd taken so far.
Fuck this thing
And
with
you
your car.
hear a very loud screech from the front end of the worm as you as you channel the power that Professor Legmite taught you, the power of feast, and absolutely wreck the shit out of the back of this worm. Make your jokes now. Get it out of your system.
Bauer sure fisted that worm good. Way up the
Started
butt.
by beating it,
Way up the butt.
and then I went to fisting it.
Ooh, this is
Bauer-
some kinky shit.
Bauer's now proctologist.
I need an invitation to Bauer's sex dungeon. All right. So the worm is a lot more hurt than he was before. That's for fucking sure.
I didn't realize you were that kind of dungeon master.
we have been looking for his magical realm. We finally found it.
Whoops. Well, 1d20 plus percent sign is not, in fact, a thing. But he's going to go ahead. He's heard enough now that he's actually going to start fucking using his legendary actions. Or all of them. So, but to start things off, he's going to spend all fucking 3 for both ends of him. And, cleanse his paralysis off of himself. So no legendary actions for a hot second. But, he's no longer paralyzed.
Well,
The worm suddenly becomes much less rigid and much more wiggly.
Blasted Worm got it.
God. I'm going to have to come up with something completely different to replace these guys, and they will never be mentioned again.
Especially with Bard Party.
Amen. You're up, man.
All right. Don't have anything really great to do. Is there anything I can do to try to break out of this?
You can hit him real hard and hope he pukes you up, or kill him.
Fair enough. I guess I'll do this recklessly to cancel out the disadvantage then, and smack him up.
Oh shit. You and Kristona take 29 thunder damage at the beginning of his turn.
Down. And gravity is gone.
Take 14.
Everybody falls peacefully back to the ground as Digoro's Featherfall is still in effect.
Shoot.
And the weather stops, the worm stops being quite as...
Alright. In that case, since Kirstone is down, forget hitting it. I'll flow a greater potion of healing to get Kristona back up on her feet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Which...
44 plus 4.
44. Yeah.
Alrighty, Kristona, you are back up with 14 hit points.
I don't think there's anything I can do with my bonus action. So I think I'm done.
Alrighty. Alright. That'll take us to Bannock. He will fail his first death save.
Ooh.
As the pile of metal plates that just clanged to the ground begins to spark a little bit. And that takes us back to the worm. And the back end of the worm is going to throw a stinger at Bauer, and its back scratching mandibles at Bauer. Or not at Bauer, at Garrett. Because it's unhappy about being mauled by a bear. Oh, that was too many rolls of that. Bauer, that is a 21 to hit you, which I believe misses.
Correct.
And a 28 and a 16 for Garrett, of which only one of them will hit. One of the back scratchers bounces off of some dragon scales that are hiding underneath his fur. But the other one manages to slash him. And that'll take us to Cristona. Cristona,
Yep.
you were down for a second, but now you are not.
Sprung back up. Yeah. Thank you, Eamon. So going to first things first. Let's do let's do a third level healing word just to get a little more. Let's see.
Okay.
Is it going to give me? Yes, it is. Oof.
Oof.
Yep.
Well, you pick up 3 points of healing from your heal, or 10 points of healing.
And then go smack it.
All right, go ahead and smack a bitch.
1, 2. Fuck you.
That'll hit. That'll hit too.
Nice. Hopefully, cold damage is good against this asshole.
It is.
Woo!
It is indeed. 24, 31, 42, 55, 62. Yep. All right. He needs to make a con save, or he will puke both of you up. A rather difficult con save, actually.
Yay.
Which he will fail.
Woo!
As he pukes the both of you back up. The stomach begins to vibrate even more intensely as you keep smacking the shit out of him. And then he forcefully ejects you both with a roar from his stomach. And you are on the ground in front of him.
Great. I'll use the rest of my movement to stand the fuck up. I think that's all I can do.
Alrighty. The big worm is looking not super great at this point, but he's still fucking there. He's still fucking ready. Let's fucking go. And that's going to take us over to Garrett. And Garrett is going to go ahead. Succeed on 2. For 22 more damage against the back half. And Garrett mauls the shit out of the back end again with his bear form. Clawing and trying to sink his teeth in, but not quite managing it this time either. Which is going to take us back around to Diggeroy at the top of the round.
Okay, I'm going to cast Revert Wounds on Banach.
Really? Banach is back up with 24 hit points.
And I'm going to back off from this tail. there.
Okay. He is going to take a swipe at you with his reaction. With the stinger. Whoops, that's the wrong half of the worm. For a 20 to hit.
I will cast shield.
Okay. It attempts to stab at you with the stinger, but you bring up the shield again and it bounces right off. That it?
Yes.
Alrighty. Power. It is no longer paralyzed, but it is still there.
No, can't do much else, so.
Alrighty. You get one hit in on him. You, a little bit surprised by the lack of paralysis. So, you, don't quite get, the good hits you were getting in last time in, but you get one in still. Which is going to take us to the worm's turn. Nobody's eaten by the worm. Which is good for you guys, because he's not going to do a bunch more thunder damage. But it is going to rear its head back, because the worm looks pretty fucking beat up at this point, and looks pretty sick of this. And it is going to screech at the absolute top of its fucking lungs.
Oh.
And I need all of you guys to make Constitution saving throws, please.
I'm deaf.
You are. You are indeed.
Does this count as a magical effect?
Was it about hearing it, or is it the force of the
It's more.
basically, is it sonic damage or is it a psychic thing?
It's sonic damage.
Well, what if it's magical? I get advantage on the roll. I should just roll normal.
Yeah. A 14 will fail. A 25 will succeed. A 4 will certainly fail. All right. So everybody but Bauer. You take 57 thunder damage as it screeches.
Down.
And bursts several eardrums and hurts the shit out of everybody who's still standing. Binnock is back down. Drow is down. Garrett reverts back to druid form. And you are all deafened, right along with Cristona, except for Bauer, somehow.
What?
You're the only one who's not deaf now, my dude.
No, I got that.
Alrighty. Just gonna take us to Eamon. Eamon, this dick of a fucking worm just broke your eardrums. How does that make you feel?
Right. Go ahead and hit him.
A fair response. 21 will hit, 18 will miss, 30 will hit.
Cool. That'll be 37.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
And that should be it for me.
Alrighty. Knock is down again. And will succeed on his death save this time. Hooray. But the back end of the worm is going to... First, he's gonna try and kill Bauer because he's getting real sick of getting slashed by that fucking sword.
Fuck.
So all these are going... Oh my fucking god!
Hmm.
Damn. I think
I'm
all
amazed.
of those miss.
Yep, they do. They sure do. He has not hit anybody successfully with his fucking stinger. I'm very disappointed in him.
There's no way I'm eating an attack for 75 damage, so...
That's fair. That is fair. It's gonna futilely try and get Bauer and fail each time it does. Christona,
Mm-hmm.
make me a death saving throw, please.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey!
Ah! Well, you're back up with
Look at
one
that.
hit point.
Woo! That makes up for the fact that I shouldn't have taken the crit damage that very first time.
Yay, I guess.
This is
You are
fine.
back up with one hit point as the fungi in your body rally to the idea of standing the fuck up
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and not letting this big fucking worm eat you.
Very good idea, yeah.
Alright. And that'll take us to Garrett. Oh, and Garrett's gonna burn her last 5th level slot and try and hold monster on the worm. And the worm will fail! It is now rigid once more. You are... I know what I said. Diggeroy, you are confronted with a rigid black worm.
If I recall correctly, paralyzed creatures automatically fail dex saves?
They certainly do.
Interesting.
Alrighty. So, Diggeroy, describe to me how its body disintegrates.
Yes!
Probably hitting it near the back end. So that segment disintegrates, then the one in front of that, then the one in front of that, and the one in front of that. So it rolls all the way up to the head.
Oh, it's like one of those like firework type things where it's like the snake thing that like becomes ash from one end to the other.
It's like the Legend of Zelda worm as it blows up one segment at a time.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
So
Alright.
fireballs.
You cast your disintegrate, you nail it in the tail, and bit by bit, the disintegrate travels up the body until it reaches the head, which is still screeching, despite the apparent lack of any lungs, right up until the rest of the head is turned to dust. And there is now just a large network of tunnels left behind, filled with a lot of dust and ash.
Right. Gonna stand back up and look around and see that the drow and Banach are down again. Or down, period. Can I... Is the drow dead, or...
Just barely not.
Okay, so healing word, first level.
Healing word, Banach.
Banach is a construct. Healing word does not help him.
What about mending?
Mending would help him.
No mending.
Wait, mending takes a minute to cast? I'm going to ignore that.
This is a special use anyway, because it also is not supposed to heal.
Yeah. I'm going to ignore that and say that mending will stabilize him, and he'll wake up naturally in a bit.
As first out of the dying.
Yeah. So he's still unconscious, but not in any danger. He stopped sparking, and his plates have returned to a more organized position. The drow sits back up and adjusts their mask.
Stone is just like glaring at the ashes a bit, and she really is a bitch.
The drow just nods, does not give a verbal response.
I mean, most people's eardrums are blown either way.
Yes. Yes, everybody's got some gnarly blown.
What?
That was in your head. We are in your head.
Bannock looks very confused by why he can't hear anybody, and starts writing things in little bursts of fire in front of him. The first one he writes says, "I can't hear anything. What are people saying? I see your mouths moving."
I'll do the charades for nobody can hear.
Because Noah
Pointed
will literally
ear.
say in his head, everyone seems to be like us right now.
He writes out in fire in front of him. Huh. It's like similar to the effect you get when trying to write things with a sparkler in the air, except slightly more persistent.
Any idea, like, can Christina assess the damage and see if it's something that can just be healed, or if it'll go away after a bit, or...
Make a medicine check. You're pretty sure that this looks like permanent damage.
Great.
It won't heal naturally.
Right.
If you were to throw some magic at it, it would be healed.
Do I know if it needs like strong magic, or...
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's start
Restoration, basically?
Lesser restoration, yes.
That I don't currently have. I have a greater.
It's okay. You might just have to suffer with being deafened, because Garrett does not have it either.
Great. At the very least, we can attempt to be the conduit of conversation. The most deadpan.
I believe this, I guess, would just be trying to project it into people's heads. I believe our best bet is to fall back and try and rest.
We
Well, I mean,
agree
this
with
is what
resting.
was stopping us from going forward, right? Can we reach the Drow village?
We'll look to the drow.
The drow broadcasts over the link. Probably 12 hours? About equal time back to your home or to mine.
That was the eyes, then possibly at least a short rest here. Everyone is injured.
We should move away from here and then short rest.
Yes. Not here. Here.
Yeah. Maybe journey for like an hour, then short rest, and then continue on. Like, regardless of which way we go, whether we go to the Drow or back to the Vishrod, I think that's what we should do.
Yes, and I'm slightly inclined to go towards the Drow for now, because I feel like they're going to be closer to the ultimate target than the Vishrod.
Retaking these steps would be extra work.
Plus, Atula may send another eye if we leave and come back.
Yeah, if we leave and come back, we're definitely facing at least as much, if not more, opposition on the way back down.
Yes, gives a nod.
To the Drow it is then.
Alrighty. As you guys begin to walk, you hear the crotchety voice of Atula emanating from the area in which you just disintegrated the worm. How very rude of you, little children.
We're all deaf.
Power is the only one who hears it, then. An unexpected side benefit of all still being deaf, I suppose.
I don't know why.
But yeah, Atula's voice emanates from the spot where you guys killed the eye as you are traveling away. I was about to say running away, but that would be inaccurate. Yeah. Bauer, being the only one who can hear it, notices that it keeps going for a while. It eventually turns from, oh, you stupid grandchildren to, I'm going to murder you everything you hold dear sort of territory. But you are slowly getting further and further away from it. The voice does not appear to follow you like it did before. And the tunnel does not extend and lengthen infinitely like it did to you guys beforehand. And I'm gonna ask 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Diggeroy, roll me a D100.
Okay.
Nice. Nothing happens, but you do feel a distinct sense of satisfaction within you as you proceed onward, and you hear a spectral voice echoing the word "nice" in your head, and you regain your lowest level expended spell slot.
Ooh.
Yee.
And on the way, you guys do not have. You only have a nice, which is nothing harmful. You pass through a couple of odd wild magic areas, but frankly, those sorts of things are old hat at this point. You pass through one where colors are absolutely inverted. You pass through one where gravity is briefly inverted. So you take a brief 20-minute walk on the ceiling while you cross that one. But other than that, you, after several hours of walking, you eventually start to hear the sounds of running water and come across a reasonably sized underground stream heading through the caves. And your drow companion goes over to it and sits down and actually takes off their mask for the first time.
Social distancing.
COVID has not gotten to Yualia, thank you.
The rot is COVID.
Man, if that's true, the rot started like several years ago.
I was gonna say, does that mean it spread from Yualia to here?
Oh god.
So David's the cause of the pandemic.
Damn it, David.
Go fuck yourself. The last 6 months have been terrible.
I was just gonna
Absolutely
say it's
terrible.
the COVID of this world, but okay.
Absolutely terrible. I would never fucking cause this. Yeah, the drow sits down by the riverbank, takes off their mask, and reveals that without the mask on, they're a very young drow boy. By even with elven standards, or even with elven aging, you estimate that they can't be more than like 12 years old.
Wow.
And they sit down by the river and actually speak out loud in a raspy whisper. Come. Sit down. She can't hear us here.
Go take a seat near the water.
Same. But also, everyone's deaf.
Fuck, I keep forgetting. The drow speaks out loud for the first time. Nobody except for Bauer hears it. So he resorts to just beckoning the rest of you to sit down. And broadcasts over the link. It's safe here. She can't hear over the water.
Go sit down by the water.
We have hours left to go, but we can rest for a little while at least.
Yes, we would appreciate the rest.
So like 1 HP. So short rest, long rest? What do we think?
I'm good with either.
I'm not completely spellburnt, but
Yeah, neither am I.
I have like no middle level spells anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a short rest based character, so it doesn't matter to me.
But also we have like at least 8 hours, right? So like 8 to 12.
At this point, you're 3 or 4 hours away.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Say short rest then.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Hit dice, hit dice, hit dice.
I'm down.
Wow. That is some bad rolling.
Ooh.
That is rough, buddy.
Let's see. Me at least.
Ugh.
Spend your hit dice.
One more. One more.
I'm also gonna do Song of Rest.
All right,
Oh my God.
everybody picks up an extra 7.
Nice. 14. Okay. It's definitely better.
I imagine anything is better than 1.
Mm-hmm. And then just during that to the drow.
How many are you?
The drow gives a shrug. Few hundred? Rot kills many. Or, sorry, rage kills many. Many of us.
We understand. It has killed many of us, too.
He gives you just a nod. Like an understanding nod. Alright. Alrighty. Ba-ba-da. Oh no, it can't be you. You're the only one of them who he hasn't seen yet. Although he has scryed on you guys. Neat.
Go on.
Okay. Eamon, over the course of the rest, while you are bandaging your wounds and recovering from having this worm try and vibrate you to death, you hear a voice in your head. Hello? This is Nolan Earthdream. I'd like to discuss terms to have you avoid murdering a goddess. You can reply to this message.
Oh, you're interested in surrendering?
Picked that one.
You do not get a
Always
response. You do not get a response.
Okay, bye. Eamon's like, wrong number.
New head, who dis?
Also, because yeah, Eamon hasn't like dealt with Nolan at all.
You're part of the party that's been fucking with him for a while, though. I had him pick one of you at random.
Right. Well, but I'm talking about like Eamon's perspective. He's focused on Atula. He's probably not like thinking about like this other dick.
Fair. Well, this other dick has been thinking about you. Man, why couldn't this session have been in the bard one? There were so many good innuendos for it. New plan. You guys are definitely gonna fight a big worm when it's the all bard campaign.
Of course. And nobody's gonna make any innuendo.
No, because you're all the worst.
Be the most chaste bards ever.
I mean, as long as it's no
We'll be a
bigger
folk
than
band.
huge, so that way I can still grapple it.
No, folk bands are not chased though. Never mind. We'll be a Christian rock band of bards.
Well, Pelorian rock band.
Pelorian rock band.
I feel like our lead singer needs to take at least one level of cleric or divine sorcerer.
Yes.
That is allowed. The only rule is that you have to have at least majority levels in Bard at all times.
Mm-hmm. I could do with a couple levels of cleric.
Yeah. Okay. So, Eamon, you get this message, and he does not respond when you ask if he wants to surrender.
I don't know why the fuck people keep contacting me to be like, hey, can we negotiate? And then refuse to negotiate. It's ridiculous.
Blink.
Who contacted you?
I don't know, some jackass.
You can be a lot more specific than that.
Did he actually say who he was?
Jackasses.
He did announce himself as, "Hello, my name is Nolan Earthdream."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, some guy from the Earth. Roland? Does that ring a bell?
Oh, him.
I kind of look at Dickory and Bauer, and then just kind of.
What did he want?
He said he wanted to negotiate terms, but when I tried to, tell him that we were willing to accept his surrender, he stopped talking. I thought it was rather rude.
Well, if he changes his mind, he'll try again.
He certainly will.
Who knows? We might all die before then.
Who knows? Who knows? Alrighty. So you guys complete your short rest without any further incident. And you start under the guidance of your new drow companion who redons their mask. You begin making your way in you all don't talk, but you're definitely due to be a little bit louder than you may otherwise have been in terms of walking. But you all are sufficiently muffled by the river that you make it to the drow home, to the drow's home without any further incident.
Hooray!
And so once you arrive, the entire place is faintly lit with bioluminescent mushrooms that seem to have been cultivated to provide light to a series of established, well-worn, smooth paths between small little domiciles that are carved out of the cave walls themselves. Several drow, you hear the sound of Bauer hears the sound of many masks frantically being put on as crew doors slide open and masked drow faces poke out to look at who has entered their village. There is a small stream leading through the village towards a large domed structure in the middle of it. Quite possibly. A large domed structure in the middle of it that's built, or towards the back of it, that is built into the cavern wall, from which you can hear the sound of rushing water. The drow who were curious and poked their heads out of their doors come out from their small domiciles and watch you all enter completely silently. Some of them flash quick queries to your guide in drow sign language, who replies back equally as quickly, but they do not make a sound while they are outdoors.
It's probably for the best in this case.
Yes. Your drow companion escorts you to the dome at the back of the village, and taps their temple and points at Christona for a moment.
We'll make the connection.
The elders are within. Do you wish to see them?
If we are to do this task for your people, we should. Is there anything we should know beforehand?
You may speak aloud inside, but please not too loudly.
We are all still deaf.
Oh, right.
It's
very inconvenient.
Yeah. Yeah. Who did that? Yet not our fault.
I disagree. It's absolutely you guys' fault. You should have made that con save. Like Bauer did.
I mean, I can't exactly argue against that.
I should have sacrificed the goat to RN Jesus.
Perhaps you should rest and see them tomorrow?
That would be wise. Is there a place for us to stay?
You can have mine. He leads you over a stone path to another home, where when he slides, sorry, words are hard. When he slides the door open, smells stale inside and is extremely dusty.
You spend much time traveling.
Yes.
Why do they
Rest.
send one so young?
He shrugs. There's nothing for me here.
Let's kind of give a nod at that. Just gonna gesture everybody else in.
Alrighty. There's, nothing nothing especially extravagant in here. There's a small stone oven in a corner and a little bubbling spring in another corner. And besides that, there are four very thin, very lumpy blankets that lay on the ground.
And we'll also explain to the group about meeting with the elders after we hopefully get her. Well, you all get your hearing back. I think it'll have to be between Kristen and Garrett doing that for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can do nothing until the morning's preparations.
Then we should rest.
Alrighty. You guys can have a rest. In the morning, Garrett will come around to everybody in the Lesser Restoration, the lot of you, so that you can all hear again. And she cracks her neck a little bit and says, "It is very good to be able to hear again. I think I'm going to keep that spell prepared for a little while, just in case."
I can see that becoming useful again in the near future.
Yes, that would be wise.
The Earth Mother does like to scream sometimes.
We should have expected. But we no longer worry about her screams.
No, I don't think they're worth worrying about.
If only because we cannot fix this.
I'm pointing to ears.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I will always try to find a way to make a top reference.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to watch that show again. Alrighty. So your drow buddy comes and finds you guys again in the morning. And he whispers to the group of you, "There is another rule. You can't fight anybody in the Elder's Chamber. They're very picky about it."
Link. just to the party going to broadcast.
We tend to be bad with not fighting people in their chambers.
I know you said I have faith that you wouldn't normally try and fight the elders. But somebody else showed up. And they're very shiny.
Somebody else?
And they nod.
What else do they look like besides shiny?
They're like orange.
Wait.
I got.
The drow just shrugs, appearing to not know how to describe them better than that.
How tall are they?
Taller than you.
Hmm. Did they give a name?
No, not to me.
Okay. Then to the group, let's go figure out what else went wrong.
That's the spirit.
Who else hates us now?
It's not somebody new, I promise. It is somebody you've met before, who left a very permanent impact on the party.
I bet I know who it is.
You would guess who it was.
I bet Eamon doesn't know who it is, but I know who it is.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah, that would be my
Probably.
first thought for shiny.
Alrighty. Your drow buddy will lead you guys through the village. There are several more people clustered eerily silently around the dome structure. But sorry, I had to yawn. But nobody stops you from proceeding to the door, and the why are words so hard? And the drow opens it quickly for you and lets you step inside. Once you are within, there is a constant gurgling and crashing, various water sounds from a collection of different waterfalls and creeks and other and springs and water features that all are directly behind where three elderly drow are sitting. They are not wearing masks. They are only wearing plain purple robes. There are two men and one woman amongst them, and they are facing a very large, very orangish red looking fellow with a very large sword
yes, I
and
was right.
extensive wings.
Well, we got that right.
Congratulations. You guessed it was the Solar,
Of course, the solar.
who has his head bowed and appears to be communicating telepathically with the three of them.
Gonna be on edge from that, but step in seeing, given what the drow told us about this. We kind of focus on the elders.
And the elder sitting in the center, the woman looks towards the group of you and beckons you forward. Come, come.
Step over.
Welcome to our home. We have been told that you wished our company, and we wished your aid. Sit. Make yourselves welcome. Have you met our other guest? This is Anduriel.
We have been acquainted.
It's sort of half glaring at thing, but trying not to be impolite in front of the elders.
How have you been acquainted?
That one killed one of ours.
Ah, I see. And Duriel breaks eye contact with the rest of the elders and turns towards the group of you and bows his head briefly and broadcasts to you all telepathically. Hello. I am sorry that we had to meet under such circumstances. I hope that this time we can speak more productively than we did last.
Like warily look to Diggeroy.
That, of course, depends on what your goals are.
I have come on behalf of the Father and the Chosen to attempt to persuade these people not to all kill themselves. Or, apologies, to let you kill them. I should be more accurate in my words.
Of course, we would only do this if it is what they truly want. But we're pretty insistent when we still plans.
Yes. I have come to them with a different offer, however.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, if you guys were smart, the correct answer would have been to fuck off to Sigil and never come back here as soon as you got plane shift. Or access to anything that let you get the fuck off this plane.
Always have. That's why I still want my airship, but they pushed my hand. I didn't have time to build a spaceship.
Yeah.
They are dicks like that.
All I can do is play Kingmaker. What does this guy want?
You know, that's not an inaccurate descriptor of what you guys are going to have to do, actually. Um, long ago, the Drow made a pact with Atula for protection. I propose that they make a similar pact under Haitius instead of breaking their pact by ritual suicide to attempt to murder Atula. He shrugs. It seems more logical than all dying, and has the added benefit that you and all of your that they and all of their people do not die. Also, they don't break the whole world from killing the goddess who's in charge of keeping it together.
This still leaves us with the problem of she's doing a terrible job keeping it together.
This
She
is true.
is. Have you ever met the Chosen? Or had our father actually explain what. Well, our father is not in the explainy kind of mindset these days, I suppose.
I don't think he's ever explained anything to any of us.
But forgive me, I should not have assumed that he did. It would not be, it wouldn't be in his nature. But you've never met the Chosen, never actually listened to him, heard
I'll
what
look
he
around
intends.
the party, particularly Bauer.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll look at when he asks that question. I'll look around at the rest of the party, particularly Bauer.
Hmm.
I can hear the capital C when he says chosen.
Yeah, take 3 guesses for who that is. Everything's coming together.
Da-da-da.
Uh,
Then explain.
Atula and Gamir are imbalanced right now. You've traveled Yualia enough. You are surely familiar with the rule of 3. It is law in the multiverse. With only 2 gods, they are imbalanced. And so they turn to murdering and killing and attempting to destroy everything in order to break what's left, free themselves, erase the pain they feel from being in violation of that law. We would alleviate that. Release the father from his bonds fully. Bring balance back. Perhaps even unbreak the world in the process.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Can solars lie?
Make a religion check. Not that you're aware of. He can. They're
He doesn't have to
adding
tell the
on
whole-
to there are some common sense qualifications to that. Like he can be mistaken. And you know, your knowledge isn't exhaustive, and this is a solar who's bound to a trickery god. But in general, no. Solars cannot lie.
They can probably get away with not telling the whole truth or some nonsense like that, but
Mhm.
what part do the chosen play?
What part does the chosen play? He is the instrument by which the Father shall be released. It was by his hand that the Father was sealed away. Many, many years ago.
Blink.
It must be by his hand that the Father is released once more.
This is one of those looks to Bauer, looks back to the solar, looks to Bauer. How's Bauer reacting to this?
I don't know. How is Bauer reacting to this?
Interested. Not too surprised though.
Somehow not surprised by his indifference. At least not surprised by his not surprised. Hmm.
And if the chosen were to do this, how would they do it?
Hmm. I cannot tell you all of this. Out of recognition that you may still attempt to kill me again.
Figure gives the fair enough gesture.
The suffice to say, the chosen must reach the prison that the primordial keeps. I believe you've met her.
Let's get a slight nod.
Should I pimp this thing that I gave you guys a long, long time ago that basically outlines what they need? Yeah, sure. A very,
So throw-
very long
Shit.
time ago. A
So
very,
much
very
lore.
long time ago.
So much fucking
Damn,
lore.
how long ago was this?
Ugh,
Was this like
Literal
in the first
years.
like half dozen
Okay.
sessions?
shit.
Maybe first dozen or so, yeah. It was a long time ago.
Jesus Christ.
One of you might remember that you have this letter lying around and all the bullshit you've collected over the last year of
So much.
adventure. But it's been a very long time.
Focus. Shit.
Throw away
What?
things from. Anyway, fucking kidding me? All right.
What?
This is interesting in character. This is interesting new information.
Is that a lie?
That is absolutely true.
Okay. Out of character, how do you feel about this?
A little bit gobsmacked. I think gobsmacked is the right word.
I'm still a bit confused, but that's partly because I'm slightly loopy.
Maybe.
Yeah, you might need the TLDR for chat though, because this is so fucking long ago.
Fair. Okay, TLDR, a long time ago. Long time ago, how everybody processes this. Like in the first dozen sessions of this campaign, while they were still hunting, while they didn't know much more about these fuckers other than that they were some cult named Trinity, they found a letter that basically outlined 3 different goals that Trinity was trying to accomplish. They just made a dowsing rod to search for something that they were calling the anima, which you guys tracked down and found bits of Nolan using. They were trying to reach somewhere called the prison, which you guys managed to reach by not being massive dicks to the current primordial of the druids.
The one time we weren't.
Yeah, right?
We were only like medium-sized dicks.
No, you weren't dicks to it at all. You guys were actually reasonably respectful. I was very surprised.
We've just been dicks to
think
everybody
that's
else.
true.
And then they're also looking for something called the focus, which, okay, putting all this together, anybody make me an Arcana check. If Sadok was here, I'd say he'd succeed on this because he was the one who identified the last one of these. A 20 will get you that. You remember this glass orb that you found a while ago, filled with a whole lot of demons that were stuck there using an imprisonment spell. And that there was a specific focus required for that. Something about the way they're talking about the context of this twigs that memory for you.
Yeah, we'll just broadcast that to the party only.
And the Solar's
Which,
just
if
sitting
my
there
out of
looking at you
character
guys.
memory serves, was given to the church.
Yes.
So the
Yes,
party
yes,
did
yes.
not have it.
Yes, absolutely. But you did come across a very notable instance of the imprisonment spell being used to seal up, what did we say it was, 8,008 demons?
Ah, yes. At least.
I'm vaguely recalling this orb. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I believe it was when Sudoku lost his 10-foot pole and acquired his 9-foot 11-inch pole, yes.
I missed
I
that.
forgot about that thing. It was the best.
Who inherited that?
Uh,
The
a
bloody
great
mess that
question.
is his corpse. Calantha, probably?
Calantha, yeah.
And Clampa got most of the stuff that the party didn't want. Yeah, sounds about right.
And why wouldn't you want a magically extendable 9-foot 11-inch pole? But that's just me.
I think it might have been a 9-foot 10-inch pole by the end. I think we burned another inch off somehow.
That sounds right.
I don't remember how. I just think we did.
I think you stuck it in lava or something, but fuck if I remember.
Sounds reasonable.
There's been a lot of this
Does-
campaign.
I feel like early on in the campaign, we just rolled really shittily for anything involving lore to the point where we just had no idea what the fuck anything was.
To be fair, you also didn't meet anybody who could actually fill you in on what was going on until you gated to tier and I had to dump it all on you at
That's
once.
true. That's true.
It was going to be a much more gradual process.
Don't give 6th level characters gate.
It's true.
Hey man, I
Rip,
figured
No one to
you'd
blame
use,
but yourself.
I figured you'd use it to do something interesting. I just didn't know what. And I was right. You sure did use it to do something interesting.
Expecting to be surprised, so it doesn't count.
Yeah. All right. So,
I gotta
in
say
character, the solar's still there. What's up?
anyone else in the room is probably going to be able to tell that we're all like, okay, this is interesting, and we kind of know what he's talking about. So if the elders can hear it, they can see that on our faces too, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's probably broadcasting to everybody. He's not trying to hide anything.
So I'll turn back to the elders, and I'll ask Tristona to brought. Oh no, we can talk again. So I guess we can.
Well, before
This
Diggeroid
person-
talks, Eamon's a little confused. He's heard a little bit of the background from you guys, but he wasn't there for all your adventures. So can I just clarify something here? I'll broadcast this to the elders as well as to the party.
Sure.
This prick wants you to trade one tyrant for another in order to keep the murderous bitch alive and reawaken another murderous bastard? Did I get all that right?
Murderous bastard is a strong word to describe the father. And an incorrect one.
Diggeroy? Was my description more or less accurate?
I mean, you're definitely not wrong.
Okay. Where's the upside?
We don't have to all die, young man.
Arch an eyebrow at the young man. Well,
They look
Yeah,
old
they're
as
they're
fuck.
drow. They're elves.
They're elves and they look old as fuck.
700 years old ish.
700 plus years old, yeah. You are a young whippersnapper to them. You may have put more mileage on than they have, but they don't respect that.
I mean, if you consider death better than life with a bound to a tyrant, I don't know why you would consider life bound to a different tyrant any better.
We have been assured by the young lad Anduriel that his father is not a tyrant. Do you have word to suggest otherwise? That he is a tyrant? You have come to us in peace. You have protected one of us. If you have words to speak, we will listen.
So Duriel is on behalf of Haitius, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Making sure I wasn't thinking elsewhere. And he was mentioning the chosen that we're pretty sure is Bauer.
If that's who you think it is,
I
then
don't
sure.
guessing. Just like well, I mean we've dealt with a mumbly old guy.
Uh-huh.
Who has attacked us before.
I think we got confirmation that mumbly old man is Haitius.
Mm-hmm.
He strongly implied it to you guys last time he talked to you.
Mm.
Why has Haitius's avatar attacked us in the past?
And Duriel will speak up. Because he is mad. He is in constant, horrendous pain. His anima stripped from his godly body and forced to wander Yualia. While his body remains in constant pain.
And
Several months ago, something happened to put him in significantly less pain, as if he'd reverted several centuries, but he is still in pain.
Shit.
and forgive me, I'm a young whippersnapper. I wasn't around for the ancient history. He was put in that state originally by Tula and Gamir, correct?
Correct.
Why did they do that to him?
Because they were angry.
Right, but why were they angry?
Because Haitius was the one who bound them here. He
And
is
he did
why
that
they
by-
can't leave.
He did that by promising something and then twisting the promise, yes? And here you are promising the Drow a better life.
I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this.
Oh, it's okay. I'll retract the question.
No. That's David saying that out of character. Sorry. Haitius did not promise them anything except something to sate their desire for control. Atula and Gamir ran from the Dawn War screaming, looking for somewhere safe where they could build up their own worshippers. They formed a lifeless rock and put lifeless oceans upon it. But it was only through the efforts of Haitius and through his, yes, trickery that the oceans became full of life, that air came to the world, that it, became livable for mortals. Without him, this world would be a lifeless pile of rock. Without him, it is slowly reverting to that, in fact. Your companions are aware of that, even if you aren't. This, I believe, Nolan Shard the First mentioned at his trial. Or
Yeah.
he really should have, if he didn't.
I believe he gave
That
his
is-
of
Out of
events.
character, that question, it was, while directed at the Solar, really more directed at the Elders.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Just from what they heard a bit about the pact with Atula, Christona's kind of looking at them curiously, like,
is this not similar to what Atula promised your people before? Going from Lolth to Atula, and now Haitius. Is it not the same cycle? Potentially, especially if this was the one who tricked Atula in the first place.
One of you make a one of you or Eamon make a persuasion check with advantage, as the other one is supporting them with words.
My bonus is 0. How about you?
Right, you're an imp warlock.
Yep.
I'm at -1 because I haven't completely regained.
Great. Yes, I'll do it.
Well,
We tried. It's
That's
not
not bad.
terrible.
no, it's not bad
Thank
at all.
God for the advantage.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. The elders look thoughtful at Eamon's question to the Solar and the points that Christona has been raising. You guys are actually making good points to them, which
Yay.
is lowering the DC. But what would you have us do? The people are our responsibility. If there is a chance for peace for us, peace in our time, we would rather take it than...
So, out of character,
kill ourselves. Yes?
out of character, I think I was gone the week that this
Oh, whoops.
part was explained. What exactly is their deal?
So basically, the Drow are... The Drow basically turned away from Lolth when they first came to Yualia, like, way back. And made a deal with Atula to protect them from the influence of Lolth while they were on Yualia. And so they're basically her people now, in the same way that the Drow would be Atula's or would be Lolth's people anywhere else. Except that Atula's gotten to be a real angry bitch over the last several centuries, and started killing off a lot of them for no good reason. And so now they're trying to commit virtual suicide by adventurer en masse, in order to ritualistically hurt Atula, basically.
So, can they break the pact with Atula without killing themselves?
No,
Alright.
not that they know of.
And I think
I
there was
will
like
say that.
mentioned that if we killed Atula beforehand, they'd go back to Lolth, and they don't want that either.
Well,
Well-
they would subsequently be free of influence. They think they'd go back to Lolth.
I mean, so the thing with Lolth is, like all of the gods, she's gonna have a limited amount of influence in Yualia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Correct.
like, yeah, she would have influence over them, but it would be a lot weaker than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, probably preferable to Hastur, or not Hastur,
Haitius.
Haitius.
Hastur was
Oh God,
last
Hastur.
campaign.
Fuck.
Hastur was a while ago now.
So long
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yes.
Hastur, Haitius, same thing.
That kind of runs into the flip side of that is we really don't know what kind of boss Haitius is going to be.
We only know what he is now, which is mad, as the Solar has told us.
Well, and again, considering his actions from before, probably not like the best person to sign up with, even if he wasn't crazy.
Yeah, but the counterpoint is, or they stay with Atula, who is also insane, but directly violently so.
Well, in that case, in character then, let's ask the Solar specifically the mechanics of breaking the pact with Atula and forming a new one with Haitius. And would it be possible for the Solar / Haitius to just break the pact without creating a new one?
It would not be. How do you phrase the question to him?
Well, since Eamon's smart and very arcane proficient, you would probably be asking like technical questions of how the ritual or whatever happens.
Okay. And Duriel will stop you after the first like harder technical question that you ask. You misunderstand, I believe. The ritual is not a matter of breaking the pact and forming a new one with Haitius. At least not to my understanding. It is a matter between the redirection, or a matter, how do I phrase this? The Drow currently believe and pay worship and respect and work with Atula in many ways, both intentional and unintentional. It's built into how they are at this point. That combined with the deal that their ancestors made binds them to Atula and her to them. Through the power of the belief and worship and collaboration that these rituals engender. and produce. What would in the relationship that results is then a result of Atula's is then a reflection of Atula's nature. Changing it to be a deal with Haitius would not be a matter of breaking the pact and reforming it as one with Haitius. It would be breaking the pact with Atula and reforming a separate one with Haitius. It would partially be akin to the idea of buying their debt in mortal terms. But also, on Haitius and Atula's end, it would be analogous to buying debt. But on the terms of the Drow, it would be a matter of changing all of those ways in which the Drow worship and have faith in and support Atula and redirecting them towards Haitius. It has to be a matter that comes from both ends. The deal and relationship is a symbiotic effect. It cannot be only from one side that the change comes. Is that sufficient detail for you?
See, this is why I prefer arcane magic over divine magic. This is all just bullshit.
Oh.
Not like
it would be to you.
saying that he's wrong in what he's saying, just saying that divine magic is itself bullshit.
I mean, this is why you guys wanted to support the gnome who wants to kill the gods and replace them with arcane magic.
I mean, yeah.
Because he makes the most sense.
Yeah, a little bit.
It doesn't depend on the goodwill of anyone in particular.
Yeah.
To the party, that gnome you've mentioned, how knowledgeable was he about this belief nonsense? Could he figure out a way around this without going to Haitius?
He certainly believed he could. And he was smart enough to I don't know how to phrase this. What he described was beyond my understanding, but you're better at that, better at this stuff than I am.
Can you send to him, explain the situation here, see if he can provide the Drow with an alternate path?
Shrug, I can try.
Are you gonna send?
Not in this room.
All right.
By the solar and all that. But
While
if
Tigro goes off to do that, I've got another question for the Solar.
Sure.
What would happen if Atula dies without the pact being changed? Would the Drow then be free?
Yes.
Oh, great.
They would be
We'll just
free
keep killing
to.
the old-fashioned way then.
They would be free to be. They would be free.
You gotta look back to the elders.
That is what.
Make
we
another
have-
make another persuasion check with advantage. I will say that Diggeroy can make it if he wants.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, please.
Cool. Alrighty. They're nodding along a bit to you guys. And his contesting charisma check does not go super great. He does not. Solars don't have persuasion proficiency. Fun fact.
I've got a plus 10.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think they're fine without it.
Yeah.
They are very pretty. So pretty.
So very orange. So very spray tan.
Intelligence, it's only a 26.
Right? Sorry, a 25 intelligence.
Oh, sorry. I credited him the superhuman point.
I know, right? How dare you? My
All I'm
elders.
really going to ask from the elders for now, though, is give us a chance to look into another option. Because if the fact that the solar can offer this means that there's more routes to get you free of Atula.
With your 21, they will nod. Use the room over to the right, if you would. It is quiet. And one of them lifts a very old arm with some trembling and points off to the right to a stone door.
Okay. I'll bow respectfully, thank them, and head that way.
Alrighty. You head into the room, and it is decidedly not quiet inside the room. There is in fact a very large waterfall within the room that drowns out all sounds from outside of it.
This is part of my Animal Crossing island. Ah.
And probably any sounds that you make within it as well.
I see.
Would you like to send?
Yeah, just I wanna. First of all, do we ever get his name?
He went by
He
Duck, but
introduced
Duck?
himself as Duck.
Okay.
but like we've learned names of the
His proper name is much better known. The short version of it is Gecken Fritz Ambrose the Runemonger, aka the guy who built Aventine.
which we learned that information, so Digger would have that.
At some point. Or you put it together that the ancient gnome wizard flying around the skies talking about all the other old ass people you've met is probably the same
Yeah.
legendary gnome wizard. We'll give you that much credit. You may all have intelligences of 10, except for Aemon, but we'll give you that much credit.
Hey, I have an intelligence of 12, thank you.
Oh, of course. How could I be so ridiculous? What are you sending, Diggeroy?
Suggestions on how to ask this?
Hmm.
If I might, this guy.
Be looking at Amon for that.
Trying to think.
Found it.
Mm. But we are already of the understanding that the drow can simply be freed if we destroy Atula.
Killing a Tula without using the drow to do it is much more difficult.
Said something along to the effect of, if Atula is killed, the world might be destroyed.
But
He's
I mean,
implied that.
I think from what we know, killing her might like accelerate things, but it's not gonna like immediately end them.
Yeah,
And
no.
they're already like on the pathway to being fucked.
Well, we already know that if no one does everything in 200 years, everything goes away anyway.
Right. So like if we
Mhm.
kill Atula, maybe we cut our time down to like 100 years, but like things are still fucked. And to be fair, leaving her alive for those 200 years means having to put up with her bullshit for 200 years, which will get in the way of trying to find a new solution.
As she gets crazier and crazier.
Right. So honestly, like killing her and then focusing on how to save the world might actually be a better way to do it.
Might, but it might be a wash because we could end up just, less bullshit, but then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a possibility.
So what I check out the note I'm sure Eamon wrote for me to send to Doc. Okay, I'll send that. What
Yeah,
Eamon
I think
told
that's
me to send.
within 25 words.
Okay. You get the sounds of a panting gnomish voice coming back. Maybe. Pacts like that hard to break. Busy right now fighting Tarask. Talk later.
I'll relay the message to the rest of the party. That is going on.
I completely forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think you were gone through when we got that message from.
According to my old notes.
Sorry, what?
This is also the guy who made the first Warforged, according to my notes.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm. I think Dolvar was gone the week that we got the message about the Drask being awake.
Probably. But like we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the message about the Tarask being awake. It was that it had reached Aventine.
Yeah, reached Aventine,
Missed,
right?
I believe.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. Do we know?
You get another sending in. You get another sending about 12 seconds afterwards. We'll say 2 rounds later. Can break it if Atula is killed. Or sorry, can protect them if Atula is killed. Breaking it while she's alive, harder. But she needs to die anyways.
He at least gets it.
part of the mad wizard plan.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Relay all that back.
One more question for the solar.
Hmm.
Breaking the pact or changing who owns it, you said, would require both changes in the god side of things as well as the drow side of things. And one side alone would not be. But if you did have just one side, say the drow stopped worshipping Atula, started worshipping something else, would that weaken the pact and therefore weaken Atula?
Out of character, excellent catch. In
Mhm.
character, he gives you a kind of tilt head look. It would weaken the pact, and it would weaken the pact significantly. It wouldn't weaken Atula by much, but it would weaken the pact significantly, and her a little bit.
Are we?
You know, the Drow are 400 people in total at this point.
Yeah. I guess to the party. Well, wait, hold on. If there were only this many people, how is killing them going to help?
Because they're her people.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
But
You're
like,
right.
Yeah.
It'll weaken her more than a bit. He's
Okay.
maybe downplaying things.
Right. I got that. So to the party, are we good with giving them Duck's offer of protecting them when Atula dies?
Only fair to give them all the information.
All right. So then, to the elders, our friend who Diggeroy just went to speak with believes he can protect you from the pact in the event that Atula is killed. Given that our solar friend has just confirmed that you changing your practices, while not freeing you, would weaken Atula, would suggest you do that and not make any hasty agreements with others for the moment, while we use the opportunity to try to put a stake in the bitch.
Point of order. I don't think you can put a stake in her.
Would you like to give us a hand?
That would. Huh. Huh. Good question. Would the solar help you?
It would be a hell of a sign of goodwill on Haitius's part.
That is true. But then you're also talking to the wizard whose plan involves trying to kill him and his god.
Not necessarily killing him, just removing him from a position of power. As I understand it.
My notes are that Duck wants to seal Atula and Gamir and Haitius the same way other gods are barred. So just really reduce their influence.
Yeah, just find a way to
that
get them to fuck off, but still not destroy the world. So he's trying to
Yeah.
replace them.
So we don't necessarily have to kill Haitius. We just have to yeet him out of Yualia.
Which
And he's been stuck here long enough, he probably doesn't want to be here either.
I was gonna say, isn't that what Atula, Gamir, and Haitius wanted in the first place?
Yeah.
Or at least
It's what
and
Atula and Gamir wanted, for sure. Nobody's really asked Haitius what he wanted for a long time.
Because he's been
Well,
screaming.
to be fair, he couldn't answer, so.
Yeah. While you are conversing with the Runemonger, I cannot aid you directly. I will not stop you from your plan to release the drow from their chains, however. Haitius supports the breaking of chains. And his eyes glitter a bit. I may be able to aid you in said endeavor, perhaps a tad indirectly, in fact. You require the aid of the Runemonger to break this pact? Perhaps I will go to Aventine. See if my aid against the Tarask may be useful.
Every little bit helps.
He gives a little grin at the idea. An interesting idea. Give me a moment. I must commune. And he will head off to the door to cast commune. And as he walks off and closes the door behind him, I think that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Well, survived another week, y'all.
I don't know
You
whether to be
sure
happy or
did.
sad.
One really wants to be an epic drummer.
We'll get there eventually, I promise. One way or another.
Yeah, as soon as we get to the Atula fight.
Yeah. We'll see if any of this, if we have to worry about the end game here.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be a little bit annoyed if at this point, after all the time I've spent trying to set this shit up, you guys just died before getting to see it all the way through.
But that just means we get the
but,
overarching exposition.
And I'm far enough. I'm okay with the end dragging a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's just, if we don't joke about TPKing, that's when we'll actually TPK.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's like something.
What?
That.
I didn't get any of that. Sorry, Jeff.
Neither did I.
I'm joking about TPKing is when we'll get confident or something stupid like that.
I mean, that's fair.
Excellent point. Yeah. Fuck. That's when you guys will start getting stupid confident.
Well, not yet.
It tickles me.
I have
Continue,
yet to get knocked down below half health as Eamon, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
I mean, we'll see. I've got some things for that.
Like, we're not even level 20 and we're taking on a
damage in one round. Between rage and two
might be one of the highest numbers I've seen for a round in 5e.
What is it, sorry?
7 may be one of the highest numbers for one round of damage I've seen in 5e.
Yeah.
How much?
You earlier, 157.
Oh, okay. You like it kind of cut out again right when you said the start of the number, and I was
Yeah, no, that was, you literally doubled the amount of damage he'd taken at that point.
That was amazing.
I think in total you did like more than half of his health.
Those auto crits kind of helped.
They did. But you fisted real good.
Am I the fistinator? The true fistinator
You're
now?
the true fistinator.
I
You're the
mean,
chosen fistinator.
You can always go back to Aventine and challenge the latest model of Fistinator to a fight.
If Aventine still exists.
Yes, if Aventine still exists. I mean, currently they have the
Okay.
epic level wizard there. They have a decent chance.
But I would at least hope that the current Fistinator is fighting a Tarask.
It sure is.
Damn
It's
right.
not doing great against it, but it sure is fighting.
We'll get through a few more models and it'll be Tarask quality controlled.
I was gonna say the fact that it's still fighting the Tarask is pretty impressive by itself.
Yeah.
Well, there's only a limited number of things the Tarask can kill in a single round. Even when it's mountain range sized. But yeah, it makes me very happy that you guys are paying attention to the lore and like actually using it to make points to the drow about why they shouldn't ritualistically kill themselves.
Even though we couldn't remember shit from things we had.
Well, I mean, I don't think we were arguing that they shouldn't ritualistically kill themselves, just that they shouldn't transfer their rituals to Aetius.
Fair. I mean, by proxy, you kind of edged into the "you shouldn't kill yourselves" route
I think
as
we were
well.
fans of that idea.
I mean, I was kind of considering if they did decide to go with Aetius, just turning to the party and be like, well, should we kill them anyway?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That
That
tracks.
sounds like amen.
That tracks.
Yeah, that sounds like amen.
Like then they could worship his wife.
Oh boy.
That was also a thing I considered, like, can we transfer it to a lich instead of to a god? I thought about making that offer.
Yeah.
It's only like 300 or 400 of them, though. We can definitely
Yeah.
just kill them and then raise them back. It'll be fine.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. All right. Had you guys genuinely fucking forgotten about that letter
Absolutely.
that I popped
Oh,
for
of
you?
course.
I had
Yeah.
forgotten about
Yeah.
You'd forgotten about who?
Trinity, the entire freaking cult that you brought up.
Well,
I'm still sad
Yeah.
we never had a gang war.
That's
Oh,
true. We
man.
didn't.
never forgetting the time I spent like 20 minutes freaking the fuck out trying to generate gangs for you guys to manipulate, and then you just dropped the idea.
Oh no.
In the middle of session, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna try and start a gang war.
But then
Quickly!
you turned those gangs into Fuck Island, right?
No! No, the gangs are still there. None of the gangs got ported to Fuck Island. Fuck Island is its own place.
Yes,
When
chat.
we finish
Fuck Island.
killing gods and saving the world, we should go back to the island with the gangs and start a gang war just for fun. As like a nice like epilogue / vacation from everything.
That's a beach episode.
And that's when freeze frame starts
That's
playing.
your beach episode. Jesus Christ.
Freeze frame starts playing,
Figure
and
out
we get the
inspiration of our next session.
yes. Our onsen episode is starting a gang war.
Absolutely inspiration.
Wow.
Doubly so because it is a desert bordered by the ocean, which technically makes it
The
one
beach.
giant beach.
Wow.
Oh boy, that was not an ending I expected. But everything went great.
Hey, I think we've just
Everything
found
went
the end of the
great.
campaign. There we go. We can't do better than that.
God, I guess I should start making the gangs now, so you can make the best gang war that ever was.
Just right into the epilogue.
Maybe we'll have a 1 or 2 shot before the all Bard campaign where you guys just try and start a gang war.
No, that's just that's really just the bards. That's their pre-thing when they're trying to get groupies, but then they have to go like they're trying to steal the groupies from other bands.
Jesus Christ.
Then we get like
Y'all need Jesus.
then we get like the Zombieland saga where like the 2 metal people from the beginning start coming to all the concerts. Where they start gathering different types of people.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Y'all need Jesus. That's all I'm going to say. And
They already
bear in
keep him
mind,
between.
I am the one who put in a giant black worm as your thing to fight this session.
Yeah, I did. Gang war that crosses over into
Alright.
another DM campaign. Fuck. That'd be amazing.
Oh, God. Oh God. Oh, I just had a terrible idea. Okay.
Oh dear. Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
There will be a session to go start a gang war at some point. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh boy.
All right. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Nomination?
I'm gonna go with Eamon for actually having a non-negative charisma modifier.
Yay! Non-negative
Yay!
charisma modifiers.
We tried.
They
Does,
actually don't
does
have-
Digroy?
Any negative modifiers?
Digroy does not have a negative charisma. He has a +5 charisma.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Digroy's a bard.
Damn.
Of course he has charisma.
I'm like stupid charming.
Yeah. He's very pretty and charming.
No, Bauer's the pretty boy. We learned this.
That is true.
My expertise is in deception and I think intimidation. I don't really.
Don't you have
use-
expertise in survival?
Good.
Thought you had expertise in survival.
Yeah, I get 4 of them. Let's see: deception, intimidation, perception, and survival.
Ah, gotcha. For some reason I thought bards only had 2.
You're 4 eventually. They get them a lot later than rogues.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Nominations and everything, and that's all I got, guys.
Right.
All right.
That was awesome.
See y'all
Yeah.
next week.
Night, everybody.
See you next week.
And thanks so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to Pirates of Fortune's Folly for that raid. It's great to see y'all. We'll be back next week, and I'm gonna send you to let's raid Lawful Stupid RPG, who is nice enough to raid me way back when, and I've never been on when they've been doing stuff since. So they're doing Descent into Avernus, I believe.
Ooh, nice.
So give them all the hype, please, if you would. Here's my raid call, and I call with the sub. And we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.
I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hunter.